Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you all had a wonderful week. So today we're doing the webinar on a Monday morning. This is not our usual time. Our usual time is on Sunday mornings, South African times by mornings. So it's usually around 8 GMT. So I apologize for the postponement yesterday. I was traveling. It has been quite a busy week since the 1st of April. But our usual time, we'll return to our usual time on Sunday to 8 GMT. So for you to find the link for the live webinars, you'll usually find it under the description of the videos. So if you click on any of the videos, I will post the latest link for the next webinar under the description on the comments. That's where you'll find the link. Okay, so just hold on. So you'll find the link there. All right, so talking about the link for the webinar, you'll find it under the comments section. So these here also are the timestamps for all the pairs that we're going to analyze that you will find under the description of the video. You will also notice that you don't have the timestamps for the past 2 weeks as well. That's because it has been quite challenging for me to sit down and do this. But from today going forward, you will get all those timestamps. So this helps you when you're watching the video and you're only looking for a specific pair. So you just click on any pair that you're looking for and it will take you straight to the analysis of the pair that you're looking for. That works amazing. All right, so we have got our next course starting tonight. Actually, it is starting at 1600 GMT tonight. All right, so after tonight, the next course is only going to be, let's confirm, it's going to be in June. So which means May, we don't have another course. The only other course will be in June. Let me confirm the dates for you. It's going to be in June the 17th, starting on in June the 17th. So the course is 2 weeks. So to get more details on the course, send me an email or you can contact me through any of the contact details that I've put on the description of the video. So you've got there my mobile number. You also have my Telegram channel. So usually I don't post anything on the channel, on the Telegram channel, other than the links and the videos and the links to the videos. So you'll only find the links to the live webinars and also the recorded webinar links on this channel. All right, so let's get started with the analysis today. Happiness, is everybody happy so far? All right, so as usual, we've been looking at Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. We've been starting with the cryptocurrencies for the last couple of weeks, actually since the beginning of this year. So now let's look at Bitcoin and what has happened with Bitcoin. What you have there is still the analysis that we have been looking at for the last couple of days, months, and we'll look at it shortly. All right, so let's do that high level view that we've showed in the last couple of days and see how that has played out so far. All right, so we've had this move from the beginning of the swing up to the end of 2018. Okay, so we have been correcting from 2018. Let's do this with a straight line. Let's do this with the arrows. Let's make it simple. Okay. Get a yellow, get an arrow. So we've had this move towards the end of 2018. So from January 2018, so towards the end of 2017. So from January 2018, we've been correcting with that move. So let's change the color there. So we've made this one. You can see there's a 2 there, then there's a 3. We'll move to the downside. Okay. From there, I'm going to change color again. Make this one blue. We had a pullback. So the pullback is still in red color. We made this pullback in red. And we looked at this one as a 1. And this here as a running flat. So we consider that as one move. And that comes down here. So the expectation was that this was going to push one more down, as you'll see with the analysis that I have, the marking that I still have on the chart. The expectation was this was going to move towards this area, and then we're going to get this pullback in red again. Pullback in red either around this area or breaks the top before we get the last move to the downside. And that last move would have been something like this. Okay, so let's change these colors on the red here. I'm gonna make this one blue as well. Let's make that one blue because that's all in the same degree. So it should be in the blue degree here. Let's get the blue degree on. So you see how this one. Okay, so that's what we have. From there, the expectation was that only then will we get to push higher with that move. Okay, so that was the first alternative. So now, if you look at this, this is a structure there. The structure would have been this one. And you would have had a move here, 3 waves down. If we start labeling this 3 waves down, W, 1, 2, 3 in blue, X, Y. Internally here, you've got in blue, 5 wave move up, A, 3 wave move back, B, and then a C. Here, you've got a structure, and that structure is a running flat. So you have here in green degree, a 3 wave move like this. 1, 2, 3. So what I thought here was that the 3 wave move in green was not complete, and we're getting a continuation pattern here, which has not broken to the downside as yet. This is the continuation pattern that we're looking at. So there's still a possibility that this can drop down here before we go. So remember the move that we were looking for? We were looking for this one and then upside. So if we do not get this move as this has played out so far, that means that this here, is all the correction. The pulsing move, we've got the correction, and the move to the upside would have started. Okay, so this move, at this point, this move should only go up to the 50% of this whole move, right? So the only thing that to wait for now is to see if we're going to get a corrective structure. I'm going to clear all this now, go to the lower time frame and see what is happening. This is the daily, so we'll see what's happening in the lower time frame. So if this is going to be, if there's going to be any continuation in this, if this move is done and it is not giving you this structure, because that structure can still drop this to the downside. Okay, so that is one alternative. So if we drop, then that means that that view is still valid to the downside and then go and then upside. So if that is not the case and we start correcting here at the top, we should go back up to the 61% of this whole move. Okay, or 50% of that whole move. Okay, so let's see in the 4-hour what we're getting here on Bitcoin. Okay. We need a complete corrective structure here. So far, what we have here is a move down. I'll show you the move down. Okay, we've got a move down here in 3 waves. One, we've got a move up in 3 waves. This one could still come and do this. That will be a corrective structure, and that will still show that we're gonna still have a bit of a move to the upside at that level. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this one and see if we're gonna have that move. Right, so the first alternative for a break to around the closest to the 0 level has not happened as yet, but it is still quite valid. It can still happen. So let's look at the current move and see how we get to that upside that we're looking for here. So that is Bitcoin. Let's look at Litecoin. So again, daily on Litecoin, and look at the last move that we looked at as well. So basically what we looked at on Litecoin, it started as a 3-wave move up. And we expected that we're going to get a pullback here before we get a move to the upside. The same thing that we expected with Bitcoin, get a pullback first before we move to the upside. So let's get the overall view here. So on Litecoin, just remember that this has always been our reversal area from the beginning of the year. This is the 8 hours. Let's go to the daily. Switch on. We see that this has turned in the blue box. And this one is already ahead in terms of structure and maybe going to around the 50% of the whole move. The 50% of the whole move. So here it looks like it has started with a leading diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a pullback, and the move to the upside starts. Okay, let me make it a little bit more closer and more visible. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, pullback, and then move to the upside. So that makes a leading diagonal. So if that is a leading diagonal, that means that is your wave 1 there, and we're going for a 3. Okay, we're still correcting here for further upside. It won't be as deep because we are on the third wave. It looks like that's the third wave there. So the diagonal looks like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction, and then move to the upside. So under that 5, you've got this wave 1. That is your diagonal, and we're looking for this one. So this one should have led us and showed that we're moving to the upside, because we've indicated that this has always been the reversal area for this pair here at around 38.56. Okay, so let's watch this one go up to at least 50 to 61% of the move that started from the beginning of the year. All right, so that is Litecoin. Ethereum. Ethereum had a similar structure to that of Bitcoin. Looking at that move to the downside here. So Bitcoin, if you remember on Bitcoin, we expected that this was going to be the move. It was going to make a 1, break the top. It was going to make come down here, give us this move down before it goes. That's why we've got this blue line here. This is actually the 0 line. So we expected that we were going to have one more down around this area. Okay, this still looks pretty much corrective. This still looks pretty much corrective, and it can still give us one drop before we go. Same as we have on Bitcoin. Okay, so that's the first alternative. So the next one is to look out and see if we get a corrective structure here, then we can adjust the view here. So if you get a corrective structure here, we may get a strong impulsive move that's similar to what we have on the other cryptocurrencies. All right. That is Ethereum. Looking at Ripple. Let's look at Ripple. So you'll see that Bitcoin has pushed up, has got that impulsive move that we were expecting to get only after a move to the downside. Ripple, we have been looking for it to give us this move first, break the low here, up first, break the low here, come to this move, get us this last move to the downside. So you can see that the structure on all the cryptocurrencies is the same. We want the big move to the upside first before we come down, and then we can go all the way with this move. Just so that in blue. So this is the first move. That has been correction from the end of 2018, and we've been correcting ever since with this move, and this would have been what we're looking for, a simple 1, 2, 3 wave move. Okay, so let's have a look at the structure here. Currently, it looks like we're going to have here a bit of a corrective structure and come and retest this top here. Okay, still have the view that we're going to have one more down before we go up, down, and then we go, simply to correct the whole structure. Okay, so last week you saw that we've adjusted this one slightly. This is a 1, 2, 3 wave move. So there's a likelihood that this 1, 2, 3 here is this move. This is the W move. And that whole structure that I'm anticipating there will be the X in Y. And then we'll look to have the last Y here to the downside. And then we get a move to the upside. Then that will be a simple 1, 2, 3 wave move before we push higher with this wave. Similar to this one. That has always been the expectation. So now, one thing to wait for now is to wait for the corrective structure here to come and retest the top here. Okay, that's what we're looking at on the cryptocurrencies. All right, now let's look at the indices. Looking at the S&P 500, the indices have played out perfectly as we have analyzed them towards the end of 2018 last year. So the structure that you have here is what we forecasted in December last year. If you remember, this was crashing last year. We've got to move down here. We've got to move down. And this looked like it was crashing. Okay. So what we could see here was that this was going to be a corrective structure. It was going to be an expanding flat. We marked it like that. Okay. We expected it to come back down here, even though we didn't expect that it was going to drop this low. But as far as the guidelines for a expanding flat are concerned, they were still complied with, and that expanding flat has played out perfectly. But how do you explain that a strong move like this that looks like it's going all the way down, just all of a sudden reverses with a candle like that? So I've always been saying, while this was coming down here, that we're going to break the previous highs and then move for a wave 5, and that's what we've been looking at. Last week we looked at this one, SA running flat, and that we're going to be going for a wave 5 because we've got this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a possibility that this is a 1, 2, and then we're going up for the third and the fifth wave. Looking at this as 1 in the lower degree, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 there. Okay, so we're still looking for further upside on the indices based on this structure. Now, if we look in the higher degrees, so the reason why we never expected this to crash, as most people expected that the market was crashing, the reason why we're expecting that this was not going to crash was because of this. So this is what you do not see during these webinars, is because we're in the fourth wave in this degree. So this is what you don't see, this high level analysis here. So the overall structure, the high degree forecast. So we're still looking, when you look at this structure, you can see that this is still going to push higher. So you've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. If you look here internally, here we're only on the blue. You still have to get a yellow degree internally there. So you still need to get a yellow degree. So this could have been the yellow degree here, 1, and we're looking for a 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, so let's see how this works. Unless you get truncation, which I don't expect, then that's the only time that you won't get this pushing beyond this. But as far as this structure is concerned and the way this is playing out, it looks like we are going to break the previous highs on the indices. Okay, that's where that comes from. So now let's look on the 4 hour. In the 4 hour, so we also need to check if we're starting to get divergence there to see if we need any update on the structure. But I believe that even if we get any corrective structure here, that will not be reversal. It will be a corrective structure. It will be a pullback. So we keep saying that, okay, this is moving to the upside. You just need to see when you get pullbacks, you look for continuation patterns. Every pullback is an opportunity to trade this to the upside. So every corrective structure, you're looking for upside on the indices. Okay, so that is the S&P 500. The Dow will be the same, similar structure. Similar structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could this be now all the corrective structure here? And then we're looking for this one as a 1, 2, and we're going for another 3, a 4, and a 5. Okay, so every continuation structure, every continuation pattern is an opportunity to enter and take it up, because as well as on the Dow as well, this is not a structure, guys. Some may call this a contracting flat, and I've always said that Elliott never spoke about a contracting flat, and there's a specific reason with that why we cannot add an additional pattern in on the number of patterns that Elliott has discovered. So if you have got a contracting flat, it must be on its own merits, and you must have done your back testing at it, because this having an additional structure in the theory changes everything, because even just the number of the patterns have got something to do with the Fibonacci theory. I'll show you that next week if I remember to do that. That we've got 13 patterns, which is part of the Fibonacci number, and if we add another pattern, this will change the whole view on the Elliott Wave theory. We'll show that next week. All right, so what are we looking for here? We're looking for this to break beyond this. This is the previous highs. Okay, so we're very close now on this S&P 500. We're also close on the Dow. It's a similar structure, basically. All right, so that's what we have. Similar to the S&P 500, you've got this 1, 2, 3, expanding flat, perfect expanding flat, and then you push higher. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, a pullback here. This is a pullback, so that is my wave, not 1, 2, 3. My pullback is this one here, and we're looking for this one to give us 1, 2, 3 to the upside. So here you've got 1, you've got 2 back, you've got 3, you've got 4, you've got 5. So we're expecting the same structure to push up again here, and that will be wave 1 in yellow, and then now you've got here, so that should be yellow. Wave 1 in yellow. Let's take this one off in red. Everything's going off here. So we've got wave 1 in yellow, wave 2, and then we're looking for 1, 2, 3 to the upside in red, something like this. Okay, now you're going to get 3 in yellow, 4 in yellow, and then 5. Let's see how that plays out. It's going well so far. Right, so that is that Dow. The Nasdaq is similar. The only difference between the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 is that while we've got an expanding flat on the S&P 500, on the Nasdaq, you simply had a zigzag correction. Let's see that in the daily. But otherwise, the overall view is the same. This is the pullback here in 3 waves. Let's show this one here. Let's clear this. So you've got here 1, 2, 3. Okay, you've got a 3-wave move there. This is not clear here. Let's see what we've got here. Just adjust here slightly. So what we have here is also a 3-wave move. So you've got 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down. So that is the structure that we looked at. This is the 3-wave structure that you looked at that is similar to what you have on the S&P 500, giving you the structure, and we're looking for this to go to the previous highs. Now Nasdaq looks like it's gonna break. It's very close. All of them are very close, by the way, and we're looking for this one to break to new highs. Okay, but I will expect that at some point we'll get a deeper pullback here to get a further move to the upside. But all of them are doing the same thing. Every pullback is an opportunity for a buy. So you'll see the reason why we don't look at this one as an expanding flat. You can see this one here, and this one here. When you look at this in terms of the guidelines, this does not qualify to be a expanding flat because of this move here. It is not within the guidelines. We've got specific guidelines and characteristics of these patterns that we use in order to determine whether they're valid or not. In this case, the Nasdaq is not valid, contrary to what it looks like on the S&P 500. The S&P 500 has got a valid expanding flat, which is within the rules and the guidelines, right? So that is why we're only looking at this as the structure on the Nasdaq. That this is the wave 4. This is a wave 4 running flat pullback there, and that is your running flat over there. The running flat is this structure, and then we're looking for this one. Okay, that is the Nasdaq. Look at the rest one. Let's look at the rest of the pairs. We'll look at the Nikkei. Nikkei also has an expanding flat there, as you can see. Let's switch off the labeling. Let's look at let's switch off there. So those arrows that you see, this is what I expected. These lines were drawn in December last year before this has happened. So we expected that this was going to either come to this level, either return from here, makes a regular flat, or break and makes an expanding flat. Okay, it made an expanding flat. That's why we're always going to have more than one alternative. Similar to what you see on Bitcoin, we expected that we're going to have a break to the bottom first before we go up. But this one has also expected that this was going to touch the previous low and then we go up. Okay, so it's all about the alternative. So we've got here a 3-wave structure here, 1, 2, 3 back, right? And then the difference between the Nikkei and the rest of the structures is that this is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This new swing is not in 3 waves, it's not in 5 waves, but rather in 3 waves. You've got a move there, you've got a pullback. And lower degree here, let's switch off so you can be clear. Don't want to clutter the charts. You've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3 waves there. Let's use a different color. This is still our expanding flat within the rules. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can see that we've got 3 waves all around. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is a 3, 3, 3 expanding flat. Okay, but basically what you have is a combination of 2 corrections. You've got a zigzag here combined with a X and another zigzag. So that is the difference. In the higher degree, what you see is an expanding flat, but basically this is a combination of a three-wave move down in a zigzag form, the three waves up in a zigzag form, in a wave X, and the three waves down. So basically, you've got two corrections in combination here. Right after that, you're getting a move in three waves. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You get it again 1, 2, 3. Okay, another 1, 2, 3, and then now you expect that we're gonna have 1, we're gonna have 2, and another 3. So this should start another move in a WX wave. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Okay, as you can see, in terms of correlation, we're looking for upside on both of them. We're still looking for this to give us continuation patterns to the upside. Still a bit far from the previous highs here. That's also has to do with the way in which this one is trending. It is trending in corrective structures, unlike the S&P 500, the Dow, and the Nasdaq. Okay, but the view is still the same. Every pullback is an opportunity for an entry in the lower degree. Okay, so watch for these corrective structures to build here, but it must be a complete corrective structure. It's not just a flag. So a flag, when you look at a flag, it's just when you're looking at a corrective structure in the higher degree. So when you go down to the lower degree, you'll see that this is not just a flag, but rather a clear corrective structure. So you see here, you've got three waves here. You also have this is three waves. You won't see it here, but if you look at this here, we've got to move down, we've got to move to the downside. That's three waves. There's a three-wave move. It's an opportunity to enter. Same here, three-wave move, three-wave moves. So it's all three-wave pullbacks here, corrective structures, opportunities for entering. All right, so that is the Nikkei, looking at the UK 100. The UK 100, let's look at this one in the daily. The UK 100 has made a five-wave move up from the expected blue box area. Let's look at the blue box area. And if you watch all this, if you watch the videos from last year, you'll see that this was marked last year as the reversal areas. This was the blue box here. And we said that we are going to disqualify this if it breaks below the 1,618 here. Okay. So we looked at this one last week as a move 1, 2, 3, 4, and possibly going to make a wave 5 here. So let's see how this one plays out. Let's just have a look here in a closer view and switch this off so we don't clutter it. So what we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in the fifth wave here. We should get a pullback soon. Okay, we should get a pullback soon. So what you don't see here, I'm not showing you where the pullback is going to come, because that we need to have confirmation from the swing itself and the strategy that we use to show pullback or reaction area. At this stage here, this is still going to push a little bit higher. There is not a single sign of reversal. This is still looking upside, not even divergence. There's no divergence, so that's still looking quite a bit to the upside. Now let's look at the lower degree, 4 hour. When you look at the 4 hour, you can see there's a continuation pattern here for me. You're getting another corrective structure. So every time you get structures like this, that's an opportunity to enter. Every time you get three-wave structures like this, it's an opportunity to enter. So you need to get deeper one like this, because when you get smaller ones like this, they can be tricky, because what if from here you get a deeper one that's going to take you out? Okay, so that is the UK 100. We've already looked at the Nifty, the DAX. The DAX, I looked at this one as a five-wave corrective structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're looking at that as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 W, X, Y, X, Z. The X here is actually this three-wave move here. Let's show this one clearly. That X is actually this three-wave move here. Let me show this one clearly. We've got 1, we've got 2, not in that color, let's use yellow. We have 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, we've got 4. and we got 5. We expect another 3-wave move there in the Z degree. We'll expect another 3-wave move here in the red degree to complete this structure. The same way that we've got 3 waves there, 3 waves there, we've got another W, X, Y, X, Z in this degree. So that is still another W, X, Y. Sorry, not like that, not like that. This is the structure, this is a whole X here. Let me draw it cleanly so it's not confusing, guys. Let me draw it cleanly so you can see all the degrees fitting in one place. So you've got the W here, you've got the X there, you've got the Y, X, and the proposed Z here. So the Y is actually sitting here because we've got an expanding flat there. So our Y in yellow is sitting there. Okay. So now what you're seeing here is that you've got a 5-wave corrective structure WXYXZ here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse, but rather a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 11 string corrective structure. So if you look at this one here, we're expecting that we're going to have another 3 waves within the Z before we get the move to the downside. Okay, so we're still pushing higher. Any pullback, as you can see, is an opportunity to enter. And if you especially get a deeper one like that, you're going to get another one to the upside. That is the DAX. All right, now looking lastly at the Nifty. The Nifty may have started an impulse as well. So let's look at what the Nifty looks like here. So the Nifty has got an expanding flat similar to what we have in the S&P 500 that is compliant to the guidelines. You have an expanding flat here. Let's look at this one in the 4-hour, and then you're looking for this move to the upside. Okay, initially this looks like it could be a 3-wave corrective structure and a pullback. So 1, 2 with a running flat there, and then 3. So it looks like you're getting a wave 5 there. Okay, I was expecting that if this was going to be a three-wave pullback, we're going to get a pullback at some point here. But it looks like the other indices, this one has already broken the previous high. Okay, so this may be leading the rest of the indices to go and break the previous high. So if you look at this one here, you've got a running flat. So you have what looks like a, let's use this red color, 1, 2, and this could be in the 3rd wave here. And then we're going to be going for a 3rd wave here, 4 and a 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's show this one in yellow. 1. Am I mixing colors? Let's use 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. 1, 2, 3. The expanding flat is a whole wave 4. Let's mark it as such. It's wave 4, expanding flat. Okay, and now we're looking for this one to go and give us a wave 5. Okay, we're looking for this one. So you can see we need to get continuation patterns to the upside. And that's that with the cryptos and the indices. That's what we're looking at. Now, one of the stocks that I keep looking at week in, week out for some of the Indian traders in the group is a Sun Pharmaceutical stock from the NSE, the Indian Stock Exchange. It started off as a corrective structure. It looks like it was going to make a 3-wave move. So we've got 1, 2, 3 here, running flat. We've got another move here. We need to see what we get here. This could be a 5th wave here. And then we would have started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. So let's watch this structure. Let's watch this structure build. We may be getting a move to the upside as well. So this structure here, if we look at this one here, this may come back down here, retest the low before it goes. Okay, not all the way to complete the 5-wave structure. Only then we'll expect a pullback for further upside. All right, so that is indices and the cryptos. Now let's go to the majors. Let's look at Euro US dollar. Now Euro US dollar and the DXY. We're going to look at the Euro US dollar and the DXY. So York is asking, why is the DAX not impulsive, Victor? So it does not have to be impulsive structure. It can trend in corrective structures. It's just taking a different form. It's just taking a different form. Remember, when you do analysis, you're in the course, you've done the course, so it depends on what the historical charter, what the historical structure looks like on that pair. So it's just taking a different form, and you will see that it correlates with the other pairs, even if it's taking a different form. All right, let's look at the US dollar pairs. Now, what are we looking at? So let's just revise there, because I don't think I've shown this in a while, what the structure has been. So if you look at that, you can take a snapshot. It looks a little bit cluttered. You can take a snapshot and look at what we're looking at in terms of the structure. So I'm going to switch this off and show this with annotation. So we're looking at this lower degree here. So 1, 2, that's 1, that's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 4. Now we're looking at this one as a wave 5. Let me draw it in a straight line. I think it's going to be a lot clearer with straight lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're looking for a 5 here. Okay. Then there's a green degree, which is lower than that. Let's also draw it in that degree. I like to show the structures rather than the labeling. You'll see where this comes from. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's switch off here the labelings. You can take a screenshot for the labelings. So what you see here from this swing, we started with a move down in 5 wave. 1, 2, 3. The wave 4 here is a triangle. There's a triangle here in wave 4. You see there's a triangle here in wave 4. I'm going to show you where we come from with this. So we've been looking at this as it has been forming from the top. 4 and a 5. Sorry, that's not correct. Made a mistake there. The 3 is not there. We're looking for the red degree. So the red degree will have a 3 there and a 4 there. And then this is a wave 5. So this wave 5 is what we're looking at now, playing out as a ending diagonal. So this is what we're expecting here. Expecting that we're going to have a move like this. We're going to have a move like that to make the ending diagonal. Okay, so what are we looking at here? So let's get the green degree here. So that our diagonal lower degree will be in the same degree as this one here. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, before we get that pullback. Before we get the pullback. Okay. So you'll see that we're getting divergence as well. So if you look at this structure, what is currently happening here, we've got this corrective structure. We're looking for it to continue to the downside. Also, what you need to look at here is that this, let's label this here within the diagonal. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. The 3 is not complete as yet, and I'll show you what the structure of wave 3 is. 4 and a 5 in green. Now the structure here is this one. I'm looking at this structure here for a wave 3. That is a running flat. And this is a 1, 2, 3. So we've got a continuation pattern there. It's going to complete a 3, possibly to come on top of the lower boundary, lower diagonal there, and then a move to up wave 4, and then a 5. So this will keep going sideways. Not really sideways. It's still a motive wave because it is still in the same direction as the trend. Okay, so you've got here, you can label this as a 1, 2. This is a different degree. I'm just showing this as different colors. I'm specifying the degrees with different colors. You've got that green degree there, you've got that green degree there. So that's what we're expecting. So now let's move in here in the lower degree. Let's move there. The DXY will have a similar structure, the dollar index. Okay, so we've got an impulsive move here, we've got a 3-way move here, it could do this one here. And then we then go down to the lower boundary. Let's show the boundary here, which is down there to complete this diagonal. Got an impulse, corrective structure, a little bit of a push up here with the corrective structure, and then come down again. So that's the expectation on the euro based on the overall structure that we're looking at. Okay. Now that is the euro. DXY will be the same. Looking for a bit of a push to the downside, the opposite of euro, and then a push to the upside, making this a three-wave structure. Okay. So you're looking at, so you need to wait for this corrective structure to complete if you're gonna get a move to the upside here. So that is the DXY. Looking at US dollar chief, US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, let's look at the higher degree here on the daily, see what we're looking at in the structure. You can take a snapshot of the labeling there. So this has come down here in 5 waves. It is now busy making this structure, which we don't know for now whether it's going to be making a diagonal or whatever it is, whether it's a corrective structure. So we just need to keep an eye on this. It looks like we're still going to push higher because, and this is actually a contracting, so we cannot look at this as a structure. So let's see here what we can look at. We've got a 3-wave move to the upside. We've got a 3-wave pullback here. Looks like we're getting another pullback here. 1, 2, and this can still do this here and give us another 3-wave move like that. So still a bit of a push to the upside. Let's see how this one plays out. So this will be a WXY move, corrective structure, that will possibly come and break that top here. So as I shown the last time, so this set that we have here could actually be here if this comes and breaks there. Okay. So let's see what we get there. So that structure, so far, it is not clear. We've got an impulse. We're getting a corrective structure. At some point, that should come down. Okay. If it breaks the top here, it will change the structure. It shouldn't break the structure. Okay. Shouldn't break that structure. So let's see what we get when we get to the upside. For now, this is making continuation to the upside. May just come here to this level. Maybe come down for 1. Make this as a 3-wave structure and make that 3-wave move here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see how that plays out. Not very clear. Let's look at the 4 hours, see if there's anything to look at here. It's just going to push to the upside. It's making a corrective structure here, but not a very nice move to look at. Maybe come and break the previous high there. That's US dollar CAD. US dollar chief. US dollar chief, all of this is corrective. Now, to look at US dollar chief, you just have to look at what we're looking at with the euro and the DXY. What are we looking at with the euro? We're looking for the euro to make a bit of a move to the downside. So we're looking for this one to make a bit of a push to the upside. But overall, this is a corrective structure. It should break again to the downside. Okay, so the DXY, we're expecting a bit of a push to the upside. So that push to the upside will go with the US dollar chief. So this has been very consistent every time with the euro. The correlation with this one has not been out of range. It has always been move for move. So we'll expect a bit of a push higher while the euro is making a bit of a push lower to that lower boundary. Let's see how that one plays out. So that's US dollar chief. Pound US dollar. So last week we spoke about all the pound pairs having made these corrective structures. Nothing has happened since. We're still at the same level. We've been here. Okay, what has happened is that they've only gone and made another 3-wave moves like this. So this point here, we don't know what the structure is, what is the structure that they're currently forming here. So there's a possibility that this makes another 1, 2, 3 here, comes and retests there, but it will still be a corrective structure. So when it's in correction, it's a very likelihood to get the corrective structure wrong, but you will know when the corrective structure is completed. So that could be the structure. You could have a WXY here and then move to the upside. Okay, so if it's going down in this fashion, that means this is a continuation pattern for further upside. It is not coming down impulsively. So if it was coming down impulsively, we would be considering that it is completing this expanding flat. But it's not coming down as we expected. So from there, we should have had an impulsive move. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. So let's look out for this corrective structure, see how that plays out. That will give us an idea, an indication where the direction of this is going. So if it corrects here again, we're going to have another three-wave move to the downside, making this whole thing a three-wave move. 1, 2, 3, and then a push up. Okay. So all the pound pairs have still made those structures, and they have not gone anywhere since last week. Okay, we'll look at the rest of the pound pairs. So let's look at the other US dollar pairs for now. Audi US dollar. Let's go higher. Audi US dollar, you've got a pulsing move. You get a pulsing move there. A three-wave pullback. You could be getting another three-wave pullback to come and retest the top there. Maybe even one down here before you get another move to the upside. So that structure that you'll have here, it will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's why I'm expecting that we're going to have push higher on Audi US dollar here. Okay, so look out for this one here. May break up and retest the top here. Okay, so from around 172 to around, from around 171 to around 172.50. That's Audi US dollar. Let's look at it in the 4-hour. So if you're getting this one that looks like an expanding flat, you're getting another impulsive move here. So if you get a lower degree here, 1-hour correction, you can take it up. Take it up all the way. Because that is a 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Big 1, 2, 3 there. And then you'll be looking for this one to go and test the previous side there. W, X. Then you're looking for these three waves all the way to the upside. Maybe slow to get there, but that is the direction that you'll be looking at. If you get an entry point, you just enter and forget it. Push your stop loss there and let it run. May come and retest this first. Possible. Go down and go. That's all right. So when you get here, you move your stop to break even, so that if this is the move, then it doesn't take you out. But if this is the move, then you're just gonna be in the trade risk free. Okay, so those are the two alternatives. Why would it come down? Because this will be a corrective structure like this, a regular flat. There's a possibility that that's the structure that you've got. That is the second alternative. But the first alternative is to get this structure, corrective structure, and this move. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at. Audi US dollar. So New Zealand US dollar is still playing out as I've expected. Remember, we've got three waves that have been this has now completed. Let me see if the arrows I still have these arrows. So those are the arrows that we said if we get all of these arrows, then that will just confirm just how amazing the Elliott Wave theory is. So we started this year. We have a move to the downside, and we do this together. So we'll refer to the previous video, so you'll see that we drew these lines before this happens. So we've got to move down, we've got to move up, we're going to move down, and now we're looking for a reversal here. So this has already been focused, and you can see that you don't even need letters and labelings to understand what is going on here. You need the structure, and obviously to get the levels, you need to use the Fibonacci levels. Okay, so now we are looking, what are we expecting? We're expecting a move to the upside to complete this move. Watch the previous videos to see why I'm expecting a structure like this. So I'm simply expecting that we're going to have a structure like this in this current. I'm just going to show the current one. 1, 2, 3. Retest the bottom. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Possibly retest the top from there. You still have this as a move. As a move. It's a move there. That's the structure. And that's the structure. So that is where all those lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are coming from. Take a snapshot and see how that plays out. That's that's New Zealand. US dollar ZAR. So there's some correlation between US dollar ZAR and US dollar CAD. Okay, so we've made a three-wave move to the upside on US dollar ZAR. We've made a passing move to the downside. Let's see if we're going to get a corrective structure. If you get a corrective structure here, you're going to get a move to the downside like that. maybe a sideways move from here that will come back again. When we don't know what it's gonna complete as. That's the only thing that you're not gonna know. But you know that you're gonna have a three-wave structure, and you're gonna have another move to the upside. So we're gonna have an attempt again at the 1560, the previous high from this move. For now, you've got a pulsing move. Let's go to the 4-hour. So after the pulsing move, you're looking for a corrective structure. You've got this move here. It can make a three-wave move here and then move to the downside. Okay? Or it can make one, I have one. We keep continuing, make that three-wave move to the previous high, come back down, and then we go and retest it. So a number of things can still happen here. For now, you've only got this move. If you want to take one more down, you need to have another corrective structure or a pullback like that. That's US dollar ZAR. Right, so let's go to the yen pairs, pound JPY. So pound JPY, similar to the rest of the pound pairs, they've all made this structure. You'll see when you get to the pound pairs, they've all made this structure. Now the question was, is this the flat correction that we have, and then we're gonna get a push to the upside? So if that was the case, this should have been an impulsive move, and we should have been getting a corrective structure. But it is not an impulsive move, it's a three-wave move. You've got a three-wave move here. This is pulling back again. It looks like it may even come and retest the low here. So if that is the case, you may even get a retest of this one here. And that will be a 1, 2, 3, W, 1, 2, 3, X. From there, can we get another structure? Let's see if we're going to get another structure like that. And that will be WXY move. So that will be a whole corrective structure that still means that we're going to get a push to the upside. Okay, for now, you're getting this one here. Looks like it's going to retest the previous low here. But I'll expect a bounce from that level. I don't expect this to be going down. It's not coming down. We've got a corrective structure. If you look at this, it's a corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. It's a pulsing move. A, B, C move here. And now we're looking for to build another one. That will be a connector. Okay. So let's see how this one plays out. All the pound pairs have made these structures, the corrective structure, which makes it difficult to believe that they're going to come down from these levels. Right, so the reason why we are so biased to the upside on this pair, let's see if you can see this one on the daily, is because of this structure. So that here, you've got an A, B, C move. The C ends with a diagonal. You've got an A, B, C move. That's a three-wave move. And we're expecting a move to the upside like that. So that is why when you look at this, we're looking at this as a corrective structure. If it's going to build another one and does something like this, make another one, that will just be a double combination that will take us all the way up. Now what you have here, let's switch off. What you have here is A, B, C. A, B running flat, C. And then you're going to have this three-way move to the upside. Your running flat here is this one. That's a flat correction. So that's 1, 2, 3 waves, 1, 2, 3 waves, A, B, C, A, B, C. Now you're looking for the same thing, 1, 2, 3. That's why we're looking at this as a corrective structure on all the pound pairs. So let's see how that plays out. That is a pound JPY. Looking at the rest of the yen pairs, yesterday JPY is playing out perfectly as we expected. It was made a three-wave move up and a pullback. You've got here 1, 2, 3. You've got a pullback in 3 waves. So let's see if we're going to get a continuation pattern and break the previous high here. We're going to go for another 1, 2, 3. Now you'll see how we adjust here. This is WXY move. We're looking for it to go to the upside. Now look at what the labeling was. Okay, you'll see how I adjust because I'm going to do the adjustments right here. So this was the expectation, and this is what happens all the time because you don't know how this degrees builds all the way to the upside. So we've got a three-way move to the upside here. 1, 2, 3, as you can see. 1, 2, 3 back. What do you expect from here? So you expect that you're going to simply have another three-wave move to the upside, right? And that will complete your structure. But your structure may not be complete. It may make another double. That's what I keep showing from the other pairs. So now this structure, instead of being a double XY that goes all the way up there, so your Y is going to move from there to there. So you've got a WXY here in green. You've got a 1, 2, 3 here in green. Pull back. I won't show this one is too small. 1, 2, 3 again in green. Now, what you expect again here, this will be 1, 2, 3 in green. So what are you expecting? You're expecting that 1, 2, 3 will be similar this side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it does not have, the market most of the time does not move in that kind of fashion, not in a straight line like that. Although if this happens, it will not be an invalid move, but normally what happens is you'll find that it goes sideways for extended periods. So this is why you'll typically expect that if you've got this as a pullback, even if you're expecting a 1, 2, 3 move here, you may find that this makes a move here, a move to the back, and then a 1, 2, 3 move to the upside. Okay, so this is how this structure works. Right, so please just hold on a second, guys. Let's continue. So this is the expectation. So a bit of a pullback here. Now, two things to expect here. If we get a pullback here, this needs to break above here. So we need to see if we're not going to make this structure or if we're going to get all the way from this side. So if we're going from this structure, it means that you're going to simply have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 there. Okay? Otherwise, you may get a pullback first before you go. You need to expect both possibilities, but both of them will give you confirmation. Okay, but I believe that this will continue to correct here, and then we're going to push higher from there. Okay, so that is US dollar JPY looking very good there. Euro JPY. Euro JPY, the same. You've got a motive wave to the upside. You've got a pullback in 3 waves. This one is not going aggressively, but for now, you've got a smaller degree pulsing move here. Look out for a corrective structure. At current levels, this will still push a little bit higher. Okay, so let's look in the 4-hour. Yes, if you look in the 4-hour, you see that you've got a pullback here in 3 waves. So what you need to look at here, look for 1-hour corrective structure, and breaking above this is even better because this can push a little bit further like that. That's Euro JPY, Chief JPY. Okay, Chief JPY is making a 3-wave pullback. Watch out for the break above this 3-wave pullback. And break above this. Let's see how far this will take us. Let's go to the daily. If we get that move on the daily, that may just come and retest the previous high here. Maybe a short move here, or it can even go all the way. Okay. That's Chief. Audi JPY. Audi JPY, if it breaks the structure, you're going to get a move, very strong move, almost similar to this one in impulse to the upside, because it is making this extended corrective structure here. Now we'll look at that corrective structure just now. So you've got a pulsing move. You've got a corrective structure. What does that corrective structure look like? You need to understand the corrective structure. It's not just a flag. You've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3-wave move there. So we can call this an ABC move, and we call it a W. You also have here another structure here in 3 waves, 1, 2, 3. That could be another structure, and that could be an X. Okay, you don't have to have an X. It can go from here. That means this will be all the move, and then it will go. But we could have another move that does this. Can be any other structure, and then we then get that strong impulsive move from there. But the idea or the expectation is that when this breaks above this here, then you get this trade. Okay, so the reason why we don't expect it to go here is because it went up in 3 waves. So if it went up in 3 waves, you don't expect it to go all the way. Let me show you another scenario where a pair goes in 3 waves and it doesn't break, and that is on US dollar CAD. If you look in the daily, this is what happened when most of the people were selling this one. A lot of people were selling this one here, but because it went down in 3 waves, we didn't expect it to go all the way down. That will not make structural sense. Bit of an education there. So it went 1, 2, 3, so it was not going to go down. That's why we bought 600 pips, corrected, bought 600 pips, and we sold it right to the top for 1,300 pips there, simply because of that. So the reason why most people were selling it there was because of this trend line. Look at this trend line, how beautiful the trend line was. Okay, so people saw the trend line being broken and they were selling there, but we could see that it went down in 3 waves, so we're not gonna sell there. So we're expecting a move to the upside, so we bought. Okay, now what happens to that trend line? It was there, and then when it started playing out, some people were thinking, okay, this is actually retesting, so they sold again. So they lost money. I remember this, a lot of people losing money during that time. So what happens after this move went up? We're busy buying. Now they're busy, they go and adjust the trend line. Now the trend line is no longer like this. They adjust it, it's no longer like this, then it becomes this. So it means that your trend line does not serve any purpose if it keeps getting adjusted. Okay, so the important thing is to understand the structure and the sequence, and you will be right 95% of the time. Okay, so that is the yen pairs. Let's look at New Zealand yen. This also looks like a corrective structure. Let's see if we're going to get a bit of a push to the downside and we're going to move to the upside. Because we've got a pulsing move, we've got a corrective structure. Let's see if we're going to get a move to the upside. So this one is not as clear as Audi yen. Let's go to the 4-hour here. So here we've got a pulsing move, a 3-wave pullback, may come and retest the top here. From there, retest the top here. Then we get maybe another 1, 2, 3, similar to what you have here. That will be W, that will be X, that will be Y, and that will push back to the upside. So let's watch here. For now, let's not look at the long-term focus. Let's look at the next move. So this one may come back down here to retest the previous low, push back up, maybe down, and then we go from there. So that will be this corrective structure forming here that we expect. All right, so that's New Zealand yen. Let's look at the rest. CAD yen. CAD yen also making a 3-wave pullback at the top there. You can see that we've made a motive wave with CAD yen, a 3-wave pullback. Okay, now it's making a pulsing move. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's show why. See if we've got the labeling there. So here you'd have ABC, A, B, C in red as well. And then you'll expect a pulsing move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you get this one in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, that should be 3 waves. Sorry, that should be 3 waves. So you've got A, B, C here. 1, 2, 3. That will be W. That will be 1, 2, 3 X. So you're going to expect that this move here becomes a 3-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, and then a Y there. Okay. So that's how we understand the structure because of the rules and the guidelines. So it's important to understand when it is an A, B, C, A, and WXY, then you know what the structure is. So that's what you're going to be looking at. So a bit of a push to the upside here, a corrective structure, and then move to the upside. Right, so that's all the yen pairs. Now let's go to the pound pairs. We've already looked at pound US dollar, so let's look at pound chief. So as I said, all the pound pairs have done the same thing. We are busy with these corrective structures, which we need to confirm what the structure will be. So we've got here 1, 2 corrective structure, regular flat. Now we're going to keep coming down here to make an A, B, C structure. So watch this one here. You can keep selling this one to come down to this level. Okay, to come down like that. So that will be this structure. So if it makes this structure, that means we're not going down as yet. We're still going to push higher. Okay, but for now, you need to keep watching these corrective structures to the downside. Every time you get corrective structures like this, it's you're gonna be getting an opportunity to go down. But remember, this is not the overall move that you're looking at. The overall move will be this one to the upside. So you can take advantage of these moves as it's coming down like that. That's pound chief, pound New Zealand. So pound New Zealand is even making a corrective structure here. Okay, so even if it may drop slightly here, that will just be building this corrective structure. We'll identify this corrective structure as it is done. Okay, so that downside will just be correlating to the down that I've shown on pound chief. Now let's look at the overall structure. This has been trade of the week for the last 3 weeks or so. It has not gone. So the reason why this has not gone like the others that we that I like to call almost guaranteed is because this one is on the daily. Obviously, if it's the daily, you can see that this one has been correcting from the beginning of March up to this point. So it will take a bit of time. You've got here 1, 2, 3. You've got 1, 2, 3 back. So this is W, this is X, and we're expecting a Y. So the X here in the lower degree, let's call this one A, B, C, because that's an impulse, A, B, C. Now here you've got also W, that is actually an X, and then we're expecting a Y in the higher degree. So we're expecting this one, after it is corrected here, to go and test the blue box there, then come down with this move. So you don't need to rush this one. This will happen. It is an almost guaranteed trade. I don't know if it's going to play out in the next coming week, but we're going to keep watching this for a move to the blue box there. So let's keep an eye. It's on the daily, so it may take time. So the corrective structures here take a bit of time because one candle here is a whole day. Okay, so just keep watching it. Nothing as yet, but we want the break above this will take us to this level. That's over 600 pips to the upside. As pound New Zealand, pound Audi. Now pound Audi is a little bit tricky. You can see that pound Audi and pound New Zealand, they want to drop, even though this structure looks like it's corrective. We've seen pound Audi make a structure like this, and it goes down like that. I don't know if I can see it right here. Let me see if I can find it. So pound Audi has got a tendency to make those kind of structures, and it just comes down. Let's see if we can find somewhere here where that has happened before, where it looks like it's a corrective structure, and then it just keeps going down. Same here, it makes 1, 2, 3. You'll expect that it's going to go upside. Okay, so here as well, it makes the structure like that. You expect this to go up, but it just comes down. So pound Audi has got a tendency to make what looks like a corrective structure, and then it keeps going down. Now, how do we know that we're going to come down here? So if this is the daily, you're going to see by making a corrective structure or a pullback. Even if that pullback is going to be corrective, then you're going to look to take it down. Now, if you're taking it down, that means that the structure that you're looking at on the pound Audi would have played out, and it will be done. And that would be a structure like this. Let's do this clearly. 1, 2, 3. What's going skew? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What does this mean? This means that this is a 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can do this lower and lower. You can go down even lower degree if you want. 1, 2, 3. How do we label this? This is 1, 2, 3 first, W. 1, 2, 3, X. 1, 2, 3, Y. 1, 2, 3, X. 1, 2, 3. Could be Z that would have ended here, and we start coming down with this move. Okay, so it's not as obvious, but you're going to need to look for a corrective structure. So you can look for lower degree entries in this pair to see if we're going to get that structure. Can you see this here? This does not look like a pulsing move to the downside. But because we've seen it do that before, we must just expect it as well. But the expectation here is that we've got a 1, 2, 3 wave move down, and we may be having another 1, 2, 3 up here like the other pound pairs, and it keeps doing this. That will be a bigger corrective structure, so that will change the structure completely if we're going to have one more up here in this case. All right, so that's pound Audi. Pound CAD also made that corrective structure at the top. Like I said, all the pound pairs have made that structure. So let's see here. You've got here, just want to see something here. 1, 2, 3. So you've got that structure. So similar to other pound pairs, the structure here is coming down here. Let's see all of them come and retest the low here. If we're going to get a bounce like that, and then make another structure like that, or if they're going to go from there. So it's either W, let's get yellow. It's either 1, 2, 3 W, 1, 2, 3 X, maybe another Y if that's what the structure is, but they'll play together. That will be a corrective structure for further upside. That's pound CAD. Now concludes all the pound pairs. Now let's look at the euro pairs. Looking at the euro pairs, euro Audi. Okay, now euro Audi, I need to look at it on the daily first. See what the structure is there. Now, if you look at euro Audi, if it keeps correcting at current levels, so you've got a pulsing move to the downside here. You've got a corrective structure. Looks like this one is making a pulse to the downside. So if we get this one correcting here, breaks this level, it will make this structure. So watch out this corrective structure here for downside. It has to confirm first. Let's look at the structure in the 4 hour. So in the 4 hour, we'll look for this one to do this. That may be just a 3-wave pullback first before we drop. Okay, so let's watch. It is not a clear-cut trade that you'll get here. Still moving to the upside, can still make this structure. 1, 2, 3 pullback before coming down. Still go pretty much sideways. That's Euro Audi, Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand has already completed its 3-wave move. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happens from there. Are we going to get another pullback from there? Let's keep an eye on that one. So this one needs to break out of the structure. It needs to break out of here. Okay, so it has already broken up there. Are we going to get this one to come and retest the top? Remember, Euro Audi, we're looking for it to break to the downside. So there will be a conflict there if we're expecting upside from here and then expecting downside on the euro. So the possibility is that this one may pull back here. Some will call it retesting the previous high or the trend line before it pushes higher. So that will just be a WX. Why for us? So while it's pulling back down here, that will be that move that we've seen on the euro, on Euro Audi that we're expecting. This pullback here. Let's switch off again. On Euro Audi, we're expecting that we're going to have this and a pullback before we go up. Right, so that's Euro Audi, Euro New Zealand. Let's look at Euro Pound. Right, so Euro Pound. 1, 2, 3 was the last move. It is. Can you see now that what the moves that you've seen on the pound pairs were corrective structures, continuation structures for upside. So now this is a continuation structure for downside, but for now this one can come and do this. 1, 2. There's a possibility that it can do that. Now you have this one here as a move, could do that, and then we move, like we make a move to the downside like that. Now this is a bit of a long-term forecast within the correction. It's really not necessary. You just need to wait for the correction to play out. And now what you're seeing here is that you got these small continuation structures to go and retest this low, this high here. The same way that you have this going to retest the previous lows on the pound pairs. That's a euro pound. That's what you look at there. Not very clear at this stage. Euro CAD. Euro CAD. Let's look at the daily. So Euro CAD. If you remember, we looked at this as a 1, 2, 3 here, and this one as a whole corrective structure. And we were looking at this as a 1, as a 2, and then we're expecting this to come down here. So this may here be a pulsing move, corrective structure, pulsing move. So even if this was a bit of a pullback in a zigzag fashion, this can be a flat, and it can do this 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we already have a move to the upside. It does not look aggressive. Let's look at it in the lower degree, 4 hour. In the lower degree, it's not very aggressive, but you can take advantage of that if you want to take it to the previous high there by looking at these small degree entry points. That's Euro CAD, Euro Chief. Euro Chief currently should be exactly the same as Euro US dollar. So let's have a look here. Remember Euro yesterday, we're looking at an ending diagonal, but the structure on Euro Chief is not exactly an ending diagonal. Okay, but what looks like what we like to call a V pattern. Now we've got this structure, we've got divergence. Okay. We've got divergence, we had divergence there from this point. We made that divergence. So now you can look for this to be a corrective structure, take it up to that level. Okay, look for that corrective structure. You've got divergence that may retest the top here. I don't think it's going to break it though. That will just be up to that level, and there will be 1, 2, 3 wave pullback, and then it can come down. That's a similar structure to what we're looking at on the Euro as well. That's Euro Chief. Audi CAD. Before we go to Audi CAD, let's look at silver and gold. We'll start with gold first. So gold, we looked at this as a 3-wave move, 1, 2, 3. Is this reversing from current levels? This may still do this and then go. Otherwise, it's a 3-wave move, and then we're going to get to the upside. So let's watch and see what the structure is going to be here. If we've got an impulsive move here on the daily, let's look at the slower time frame. This is actually a trade that is ready. 1, 2, 3 there. I think, let's just have a look here. Last week when we did the webinar was the 30th. No, I'm looking at the wrong month. We're on the 8th of April today. So last week was 31st. So just want to see where we were here. So we looked at this one as coming down as a V pattern. So this is actually ready and can come back and retest the top here. So gold can come and retest the top there and make this a corrective structure for upside. That's gold, silver. So looking at silver, we've got a passing move here, we've got a corrective structure there. Looking for this one to at least make this move. Okay, wait for it to break out of the structure. You want to look at it on the 1 hour, it's going to have a clearer structure there. So on the 1 hour, this is actually confirmed. You can take it up there. That is silver and gold, simple like that. So this one needs to close first to confirm. Right, now let's look at the CAD pairs, some of the CAD pairs. We've already looked at, have we looked at Euro CAD? Yes, we have. Now let's look at Audi CAD. Audi CAD, we've made this passing move to the downside. This is a pullback. This is a corrective structure. You should get back up to around this level. Right, and then Audi New Zealand. As expected, it is flying from right at the bottom. If you have been watching this for the last couple of months, we've been looking at this one to break out of this year. And there's also a long-term focus. The reason why we're looking at this to break from there. So there's a likelihood that this only comes back here. Maybe just breaks the top here slightly and comes back to parity. Okay, and make this as a continuation structure. Now, the reason why we expected that this is going to break from there is because of this structure. I think I'll show this next week. I won't show the whole structure. I'll just show the corrective structure currently here. You've got a pulsing move here that is corrective, and internally here you've got 1, 2, 3 here. You've got 1, 2, 3 there. You've got 1, 2, 3 there. So this is where this move happened. So we expect that we're going to have a pulsing move like that will make this an A, B, C structure, one more down before we go. Okay, so that is the corrective structure that we're expecting. So this may not be the move. So here, similar to what we expected when we what we were looking at when we looked at Bitcoin, this may not be all the move. Even though we're going to get this pullback like that, this may be there's some more continuation to the downside, and then the C can only come after that. So this is where this structure comes from. This is why we expected that this will break to the upside. So now you just need to keep taking continuation patterns at this level and take it up. Okay, that is Audi New Zealand and New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD, expect this to come and retest the low here. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Remember, we looked at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we said that this will go into corrections. So this is now looking like a flat corrective structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now a correction does not always have to be a zigzag. Now you can also get a flat correction. Okay, that's what you're getting. This one, we expect this one to come and test the low here. That is New Zealand CAD, New Zealand Chief. Same, you had a pulsing move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like you started here with an A, B. Now, difference here is that this one may be a corrective structure like that. That does this 1, 2, 3 before it goes. Keep an eye on this one. It's a critical area. It needs to give you a confirmation that it is breaking below this low here. Audi Chief is going to break to the upside. Definitely. Same as the Audi Yen. It's exactly the same structure. You can see that we've got this corrective structure here. You've got a pulsing move. Same as you had on Audi New Zealand. This one is just late. It will give you this move. So keep an eye on this. Don't miss this move. It will happen. That's Audi Chief, CAD Chief. Same. You've got a pulsing move up. You've got a pullback in 3 waves. You've got a pulsing move. You're busy correcting. This will still push to the upside. And lastly, let's look at oil. Oil, as expected, we said is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 there. Last move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we looked at oil. We looked at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Corrective structure in the middle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at some point, this one is going to have to end now because it has made a 3-wave move like that. A, B, C. Bit of a push higher, and that is the structure. That's what we expected last week, even when this was happening. We expected that this was going to push to the upside. At some point here, we're going to need to start getting a pullback. How far would the pullback be? We can't tell at this stage. Okay, so that's all I had for you this week. I don't know if I missed any pair. Did I miss any pair? I think all has been covered. Thank you very much, guys, for attending. Have a great week. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Have a great weekend. Great week, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.